Biggest Oaceys you can remember, and walk us through a little bit of the soundscape of your existence back then.
The soundscape of my existence. I like that. The first, definitely the first music memory I have, like, and it's actually like to this day, I always tell people it's the deep song that got me into hip hop. It was, I forget how old I was, probably 5 or something like that. And that's when Space Jam came out. So when Space Jam came out, I had the soundtrack. So that Monstars anthem, Hit 'em High with, Coolio, Be Real, LL Cool J's on that. Busta's at the end, who's got like a real weird verse, but he kills that. So that was I think that's an Easy Mo B instrumental as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to say that. But anyway, yeah, that was the first thing. And I just remember being in my driveway with that little Tykes basketball net, just slam jamming it to, the Monstars anthem that when 5 years old, man. So that's the first one, which is kind of whack because that's such a dope track. It was kind of hard to follow, so I forget my next, hip hop song that I really.
But it
kind
isn't
of,
even necessarily hip
really
hop, right? Because like, what were your parents listening to and such? Like, what were the other sounds around beyond yourself? Because you're gonna have.
Oh, just like I'd say old rock band. I guess like my mom listened to like a lot of like Motown, like Leslie Gore, and like a real poppy shit. But like from the '60s, I guess it'd be considered poppy. But I delved deep into the crates of those records as well. You can say like I produced beats as well, so you would kind of see that influence more in my production than you would in my rap.
But that's why it's so cool to go back that far, because often that is how these things work. There's so many things that happen. I learned asking this question when you're like 5 that just tie into the person you are as a fully grown up thing. So it's just super nifty also, because everyone answers this question completely different. Like I never get the same response twice. So like we always just learn a lot.
Yeah, that's a good first question.
But like, yeah, so like there's a bit more to it because there's a bunch of elements. So we like to kind of cover because as a young one, we tend to do more things than we do as older ones. So were you into like the dancings and stuff when you were a little one? I don't know if you're a dancer now, but like
dancing. No, I could never dance. I was always too tall and awkward to dance when I was a kid. But no, I was more into like biking and like outdoor kind of shit. Like I don't know, kid shit. When I was that age, you know what I mean?
Nah, it's
like,
fair.
I would say music didn't start playing a real part of my life until like, I guess early teenager. But like
definitely we're gonna get there. But what about drawing? Were you into the drawings at all? Were you a drawer or visual
drawing?
artist?
Yeah, I used to draw a lot.
That's fresh.
I used to draw a lot. I used to like to draw cars. I used to take like that free calendar magazines you get at grocery stores and shit, and I would draw the cars that was in it. So yeah, I used to draw.
That's super cool, man. Honestly, I think that's really.
I can't know more though.
Nah, but it's like nobody knows these things because we never really talk about them. So it's fun to find out the kind of different stuff we were up to. Nah, but that's pretty fresh. And sometimes people have elaborate stories. I've heard of full theatrical 5-year-old productions that have gone on, and then I've heard stuff where it's like, nah, man, I didn't touch that till later on. But still, we now know that you draw, you're an outdoorsy kid, that you actually dropped Space Jam, which is you'd think more people would like attach to that album for how banging it is, but it's the first time anybody's mentioned Space Jam to
I know.
me. But that song is incredible because they don't cuss one time.
That's a big soundtrack.
They don't cuss one time on that track. It's actually kid appropriate because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no shit. Even though it's the scariest song on the tape.
But yeah, I was like, that's an impressive track. So when did you like decide? Because usually like where are you from, by the way? It's my like deliberate second question.
I'm from Brantford.
Fresh.
Brantford.
So I know what that is because I've talked to Maloney at this point. Otherwise, I had no idea what that was beforehand. And so it's like it's interesting.
Yeah, most people don't.
He gave us this like real breakdown into like what it was like to grow up in that part of town. I don't know if you have any like memories of what it is to your experience, because why I bring that up is sometimes you hear people talk about things or you see the world that they're at, and people don't always know what the young experiences of growing up in environments is like.
Yeah, no, Brantford, I could imagine what's been said about Brantford. It's a pretty they call it the ghost town for a reason. You know, there's like nothing to do there. There's a bunch of rusties around there. There's a lot of shit that goes down in Brantford. Brantford's kind of a fucked up place. I remember, you know, I remember being downtown Brantford a lot. I worked downtown at a lot of different places too growing up. And Brantford's a different kind of place, man. I'll tell you that.
Fair enough. And
you see a lot of different shit.
And I just like, I don't like to like go delve into drama per se, but I do think it's part of your story and part of what helps define your character is to address that you come from a place that maybe is a little different than say like growing up in cushy Montreal. And I would argue I grew up in cushy Montreal. I didn't grow up in like the hardest shit ever. It was always like a safe environment in my life. But
yeah.